Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna talk about active and passive voice. To understand what is active and passive voice, it's good to know what is voice. Voice refers to the grammatical form that indicates whether the subject of the sentence performs the action or receives the action. Active voice shows the subject of the sentence does. It is used when the subject performs the action that is expressed by the verb. On the other hand, the passive voice sentence is used when the subject is not performing the action but is receiving the action. In this title sentence, the object becomes the subject of the sentence and the subject is often omitted or we can use with preposition by. The passive voice sentence is formed with the to be verb plus past participle of the main verb. Let's start with an easy example. He delivers the letters. This is an active voice sentence. The reason? Because he performs the action of delivering the letters. The next example, the letters are delivered. This is a passive voice sentence because the letters are receiving the action. To say who did the action we are talking about, we can use the preposition by and then we add the agent after by. So our passive voice sentence will be the letters are delivered by him. I mentioned passive voice is often used when the focus is on the object or the action rather than the agent of the action. However, active voice is generally preferred because it's more direct, brief, and clearer than the passive voice. I'm going to tell you steps to transfer the active voice sentence to passive voice sentence. The first step is identify the subject, verb, and object in the active sentence. For example, he delivers the letters. He is the subject, delivers is the verb, and the letters is the object. Step 2. Move the object of the active sentence to the beginning of the passive sentence to become a new subject. So, we move the letters to the beginning of the sentence. Check the verb tense in active sentence and use the appropriate form of the to be verb according to the tense of the original active sentence. In this example, our original active sentence is in the present tense because the verb is delivers. So we use are as the form of to be verb depending on the new subject. Our new subject is the letters. Step 4. Change the main verb into its past participle form and add it after to be verb. In this example, delivered is the past participle form of the delivers. Step 5. Add preposition by followed by the agent of the action, if known or necessarily. Otherwise, you don't need to include the subject of the active sentence in the passive sentence, and you can completely omit it. In this example, we add by him, or we can omit it. According these steps, now we are able to change active voice sentence to passive. So our passive sentence is the letters are delivered by him or the letters are delivered. In the passive voice sentence, you may ask a question, which one is appropriate for our sentence? By or with which preposition? In the passive voice, we use the agent by using the preposition by to help clarify who is responsible for doing the action. For example, the door was opened by Jack. In this example, Jack is the agent. The preposition with can be used to indicate the instrument, object, or material that was used to do an action in passive voice sentence. For example, the door was opened with a key. A key is the object that was used. Let's look at grammatical structures with more details. This table will help you better understand how to use passive voice in different tenses, how to use negative forms and questions in the passive voice sentence. We use to be verb, am, is, or was, were for present simple, past simple, present continuous, past continuous, and going to questions. We use the verb have, has, had for present perfect and past perfect questions. We use will for future simple questions. These are some examples. According to the steps you have learned about it, you can transfer these active sentences to the passive in different tenses. Pause the video to take a look. I'm going to tell you notes about transitive and intransitive verbs. Only transitive verbs can be made passive because their direct objects in the active voice sentence can be transformed into the subject of the passive voice sentence. On the other hand, intransitive verbs cannot be used in the passive voice because an intransitive verb expresses that someone or something takes action to do something by itself. The verb doesn't accept an object as it is complement. It's more important. So if you are not able to recognize whether the verb is transitive or intransitive, just try to put an object after the verb or check from a dictionary. Common intransitive verbs are occur, appear, happen, look, seem. Let's look at an example. Jack started the project. In this example, Jack is the subject, started is the verb, the project is the object. The question is, what did Jack start? The answer is the project. Therefore, started is transitive because it needs an object. Our object is the project. So we can transfer to passive voice. Our passive voice sentence will be the project was started. Another example, I bought a pen. Let's look at intransitive verb examples. Jack laughed. The question, what did Jack laugh? The answer, nothing. Therefore, laugh is intransitive because it doesn't need an object. Another example, I arrived late. Maybe you ask a question, why did we use the passive voice? We use to shifting focus. For example, in scientific writing, the focus might be on the experiment or results rather than the person who conducted it. For example, the experiment was conducted and the results were recorded by the researcher. Sometimes action is more important than the agent. For example, 40 people were killed in the earthquake. Unclear or unknown agent. For example, the church was built in 1815. Variation in sentence structure. A delicious three-course meal was prepared for the guests by the chef. To make more polite or formal statement, the car hasn't been cleaned. It's not polite if we say, you haven't cleaned the car. To put emphasis on the agent, for example, the new library will be opened by the Queen. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching. If you like, please don't forget to share and subscribe. Good luck, guys.